names in football have gathered to analyse, argue, adjudicate and articulate on the World of Sport Westpac footy panel. Introducing Richmond's 310-game living legend, Captain Bloodjack Dyer, a premiership captain and coach who's broken more than the big stories over the last 50 years. His sparring partner from Collingwood, the game's only multimedia mega rover, a 250-game veteran and premiership captain, Lou Richards. He was christened Peter Patrick Pius Paul, but to all he's Crackers Keenan. His career spanned 213 games with Melbourne, North and Essendon, and can well have been more but the odd rush of blood. Over 237 games, the Swans' longest-serving captain, Bobby Skilton, earned the respect of both friends and foe with his skill and courage. He backs his judgment with 3 Brownlow medals. In 193 games, Peter McKenna kicked his way into the history books with 873 goals, the 4th largest tally ever. He was renowned for his accuracy, a boast that still applies. From vigorous pupil to master ruckman, that was the path Sam Newman took over 303 games with Geelong. The white boots and blonde tips added colour to one of the most competitive big men in the game. The Geelong flyer, Bob Davis, helped change the face of football as premiership coach of the Cats after a brilliant career that saw him play 188 games and win all Australian selection. And in 1984, we introduced the longest-serving player in league history, Richmond's 403-game champ, Kevin Bartlett, a man more than capable of matching wits with the greats of the past. Once again, these men will pass votes for the $15,000 World of Sport Adidas Award, the richest in football, with $10,000 to the winner, $3,000 to the runner-up, and $2,000 to the third. Carlton, one of the world's greatest brewers, are proud to award $2,000 to the 1984 Brownlow medalist. And from Canberra TV, an AWA 22-inch Thorn colour TV set and a Thorn video cassette recorder, to the Coach of the Year. The most illustrious names, the biggest prizes on the World of Sport Westpac footy panel.
Right, gentlemen, we've had the introduction, so let's get straight on with the first match. Fitzroy and Essendon. Peter McKenna, tell us about it, Pete. Hawthorn. Sorry.
Hawthorn and
it's getting very late.
Well, it's a little bit difficult to talk about this one because we're not sure whether to give the big raps to Hawthorn or whether Richmond were all that bad. But this game started off with 2 goals in 2 minutes by Hawthorn, and that set the pattern for the game because they got that run-on game going. There's Loveridge. He's just one of those medium-sized players, and they had players like Swab and, of course, Mew coming down for centre-half back, Curran on the half-forward line. All these guys around about the 6'1" mark who just bore in. Richmond, on the other hand, they only had, 2 real good goers for the game, and I refer to Mark Lee in the ruck and Barry Rollings playing his 200th game. But how Richmond, there's Roach taking a mark. He tried hard, Michael Roach, but the ball didn't get down to him enough. But how Richmond could let those Hawthorn players run loose, 50 metres loose, in fact, many, many times with no one picking them up, it beats me. If that's what modern football's about, then Richmond have a heck of a lot to learn.
Sam?
Just could you tell me, how can they justify keeping Taylor in the side if they put him on the bench when he's meant to be their prime forward?
I'm glad you asked that. I think Richmond have to make a big decision one way or the other. They have to either clear Michael Roach or Brian Taylor, whichever one they clear is up to them, but they'll get a lot of money.
Take this for Taylor.
Well, I think I know Collingwood are looking for a forward. I reckon they'll have to clear one. They do not play well on the ground at the same time. They cannot play 2 full forwards in the one side.
I think Richmond are making a lot of criticism of their 3 big men up forward. That's Jess, Taylor and Roach. But there's another player not doing too well in the centre, that's Rioli, and that's one of the prime reasons why they're not winning so much or going so well.
Crackers?
He was the creator, but he's not creating any longer.
Louis, would you dump him and put him in the second?
Well, I would never dump Maurice Rioli because you don't dump champions, but I think something's got to be done about it because he's not playing well enough.
Well, he should be put in the game more. He showed in the last
they played him
quarter.
half forward today, which was ridiculous.
They should let him be a ruck rover or a rover.
But we're blaming those 3 guys all the time. He's wearing the famous number 17 jack, and at the moment he's not living up to it.
Lou, could you please give me your votes for that game?
I certainly will. I gave 1 vote to Chris Mew, and there's no doubt this fellow's the best centre-half back in the league. He's had a great season. 2 votes I gave to Curran. Had the best day he's ever had since he joined St Kilda. There's no doubt this young fella's got a great future with Hawthorn. Who did I say with?
St Kilda.
I mean Hawthorn.
They play next week, Louis.
And of course the top player on the ground, Russell Greene, hasn't looked back since he joined Hawthorn from St Kilda. A magnificent performance, probably the most prolific kick-getter in the business.
Right, thank you, Louis, for those votes. After this break, Bob Skilton will be back to look at the game between Fitzroy and Essendon.
Westpac announces the world's first national electronic banking system. A vast network of electronic terminals and bank branches that gives you the choice to do your banking where and when you want to. A system that is soon to be installed into over 1,000 service stations and supermarkets. All you need is just one card. The card is the bank, and the bank is Westpac.
Right, welcome back to the Westpac footy panel. Bobby Skildon, tell us all about the game between Fitzroy and the Bombers.
Well, the more I see of Essendon, Sandy, the more I'm sure that if there's a repeat performance of the grand final between Essendon and Hawthorn, the game will not be a repeat performance because Essendon are a very disciplined and very good side. Fitzroy were disappointing. They just, Robert Wall said that they were trying things out, that they're zigzagging all over the forward, anywhere over the ground. At one stage, they had 4 kicks and progressed 20 metres up the ground, and they had possession all of the time, and it just certainly is not the way that football should be played. The old basic principles have not changed, and Fitzroy are not playing to those principles.
Crackers?
Bobby, as a coach, what would you do over Mickey Conlon's performance today? Would that be one of the worst performances you've seen for a while?
I'm a great admirer of Mickey Conlon, but I think today's performance was a very undisciplined effort, and I think I would let him get to see what it's like to see the dewdrop off the ground.
Lou?
I didn't see that match, Sandy.
You wanted to ask a question,
No, I just
sitting there picking your nails. Peter?
Bob, I'll ask, when I see Simon Madden kick goals, did they use Roger Merritt in the ruck, or did Madden do most of his work in the forward line?
No, they shared the ruck work. Both Merritt and Madden rucked superbly, and Merritt, I think, just showed what a great player he is now by being able to kick goals on the forward line and play great in the ruck as well.
Now, we haven't heard from Jack Dyer yet. Is that because you're still getting over Richmond, Jack, or what is the problem?
Don't worry about
just
it,
a
mate.
shock. Bobby, you're talking about there might be a premiership side, but don't you think they do too much work and get nowhere Essendon at the same time?
They do muck around a lot, Jack, and I'm talking of some of their so-called stars. Timmy Watson, Merv Nagel, Glenn Hawker. They like to treat it like basketball at times and handball this way.
Well, where do you think they've improved them, Bob? You've said they're going to be premiers.
I didn't say they were going to be premiers, Jack.
You said they're going to be reversed.
I didn't say it would be reversed. I said it would be a far different effort than from last year.
KB?
I did not say that they would beat Hawthorn.
Bobby, at the beginning of the year, Bob Davis said that he didn't think Leon Baker would make a great deal of difference to Essendon. Today, I believe he performed pretty well once again.
It's a nice message.
Leon Baker is an extremely good player and had to jump on the plane tonight to go back to play for Western Australia on Tuesday. And I still do not know how good Leon Baker will be under real pressure. Fitzroy did not apply any pressure today. In a big game. Unfortunately, Leon Baker himself admitted today that he has put in 2 shockers and he is pleased. And real good players do not put in shockers consistently.
Bobby Skildon, your votes, please.
Yeah, I gave all to Essendon today. I gave 1 vote to Simon Madden. It could have been reversed. I could have given him 3 votes, but I didn't quite feel he played 4 quarters of football, but nonetheless, still kicked 5 goals. 2 votes I gave to Leon Baker, dominated the centre, and his disposal was impeccable. 3 votes, I thought the only player to play 4 quarters of football was Darren Williams. Not really a true rover, but nonetheless, Darren Williams played a superb game.
Right, thank you very much, Bobby, for those votes. Darren Williams voted best man on the ground. And let's check now in our Westpac footy panel. We come to the Westpac draw because each week we make a draw for $100. The big prize at the end of the year is $10,000.
10,000. How
2
about
tickets
that?
to the Brownlow and 2 tickets to the grand final. Don't forget, it's got to be a new entry each week. We get thousands each week for Westpac, which is great news. Louis, dig into those.
Also, we've
8 or
got the
9,000.
general manager of Westpac here tonight,
Which
too.
is very good news indeed, and we
Can't think of
certainly
his name,
hope
but he's
they're
here.
all enjoying the program.
He's a great guy.
Do you want a box or something to stand on to get
No, I can reach down the bottom here.
He wants to dig deep.
Stand back.
So full. Who have you got, Lou?
Alistair Go Lightly. Or Go Lightly.
Mr. Alistair Go Lightly of 1 Kitchener Road, Tacoma.
Tacoma.
So, Mr. Go Lightly,
How about that, Frank?
you have won $100 and have the opportunity of winning $10,000, 2 tickets to the grand final and 2 tickets to the Brownlow. As we check the Adidas voting now in the Rich Adidas Award, we find that Chris Mew has joined Peter Moore in the lead on 16 votes. Robert Di Domenico of Hawthorn is on 11. Rod Ashman, Terry Danaher, and Paul Salmon are all on 10 votes. We shall return after this break.
The biggest names in football have gathered to analyse, argue, adjudicate and articulate on the world of sport Westpac Footy Panel. Once again, these men will cast votes for the $15,000 World of Sport Adidas Award, the richest in football, with $10,000 to the winner, $3,000 to the runner-up and $2,000 to third. Carlton, one of the world's great brewers, are proud to award $2,000 to the 1984 Brownlow medalist. And from Canberra TV, an AWA 22-inch Thorn colour TV set and a Thorn video cassette recorder to the Coach of the Year. The most illustrious names, the biggest prizes on the world of sport Westpac Footy Panel.
This report on Aussie rules, the game, is brought to you by Westpac, the bank.
The winner of the 1984 Brownlow medal will be awarded the world's most exciting Gran Turismo, the new Nissan 300 ZX. Powered by a 3-litre fuel-injected engine, the new Nissan 300 ZX truly is Gran Touring.
Thank you.